My name is Frank Caprio. I'm a constitutional conservative, and I am chairman of the Constitution Party of Orange County, Florida, with a message about the importance of the Constitution of the United States of America. For many years, I have helped to educate people on the Constitution. It still amazes me that most people cannot see the importance of the document. It is plainly evident, however, to many millions of Americans that our federal government is out of control. The feds regularly break the law with no consequences. I am here today to stress the importance of our Constitution. Until we have a grassroots dialogue about our founding principles, we will continue down the road of destruction upon which we have embarked. The Constitution is America. It is literally the document that created the United States of America. 13 sovereign countries, which we call states today, came together and constructed a federal government. The government which they devised was one of limited scope and function. It was created primarily as a singular voice for the states to the international community. It was a government of delegated, enumerated powers. This idea is the reason for the success of our country. The Constitution of the United States is the reason we have had as prosperous and free a nation as we have had. We believed in the consent of the governed and inalienable rights, and had a revolutionary idea that we the people could govern ourselves. It has led to the most flourishing nation to ever grace the face of the earth. We changed the trajectory of all civilization with our revolutionary idea. Our mere existence has transformed the world in a way unrecognizable just a couple centuries ago. These same ideals which gave us this nation are being attacked and ridiculed, however, and our Constitution is being ignored. Too many people just give lip service to the idea that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. This must end, and we must have a national dialogue about our Constitution and our federal government. There are many people who fight for the Second Amendment, against unconstitutional government surveillance, unlawful military actions, agendas like Common Core or unlawful federal ownership of land, and I applaud them for their efforts, but say to them that they are attacking the symptoms of the disease and not the disease itself. Until the central rot is destroyed, nothing will be corrected. Why is this happening? It is a planned effort to subvert our country and our way of life. Victory in a conventional war against us will not succeed. We must be destroyed from within. And how is this being accomplished? Children have not been taught civics for over a generation, which leads to a majority of people not knowing how our federal government is supposed to operate. There was a poll out recently that stated only 25% of Americans can even name the three branches of government. How many Americans have taken the minute or so it would take to read Article 1, Section 8, which delineates the enumerated powers of Congress? How many would know the significance? Or that Congress is the only branch of government to make laws? Or that any bills voted into law must be in pursuance of the Constitution according to Article 6? How can people know if government is breaking the law if we don't know the law ourselves? The quote, "The greatest danger to American freedom is a government that ignores the Constitution," may be spurious, but it is nevertheless the truth. If a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. That was Thomas Jefferson, and he was correct. Think about it. The media does nothing to talk about the national crime spree perpetuated by our federal government. Gun-free zones, the ACA, the massacre at Waco, the federal ownership of land and the existence of the BLM. The mere presence of the Department of Education or the private corporation known as the Federal Reserves are subjects that are never reported from a constitutional stance. This is a pro-socialist, anti-American stand the media has taken. It has been exposed for years, yet we allow them to set the narrative that we the people discuss. The distractions perpetrated by our media must be ignored, and the truth must once again be argued for us to remain a free nation. I will borrow from the 10th Amendment Center. Less Democrat, less Republican, more Constitution. The problems we face as a nation are a bipartisan problem. Whether we have Republicans or Democrats in office, the government continues to get bigger, ignore the Constitution, put us in more debt, and abridge our rights. For instance, many conservatives reference Obama as having doubled the national debt. Remember, we had a Republican Congress for 6 out of those 8 years. This is indeed a bipartisan problem. So what can a person do? Get educated. Join a group of people who support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. We at the Constitution Party are in the process of forming a cadre of people who support our founding principles. We want to educate the people on these principles so they can themselves make an informed decision and help spread the word. We are going to modify the national narrative to one that aligns and supports the Constitution of the United States. We want to find candidates which will honor their oath to office and get them elected. We imagine a future where the federal government is put back into its constitutional box, leaving the states to decide how they want to govern themselves. We want our liberty back. Our party is on the side of truth, and we need more people to get this message out. We believe, as the principles of our founding are once again spread and discussed in public, that the national narrative is one of liberty and constitution, that we will be able to rightfully identify the problems we face as a nation and properly eliminate them. Bottom line, our federal government is destroying this country. That is a fact. For us to remain free, we must once again arm ourselves with the truth and fight the forces of oppression which threaten our country and way of life. That is the end goal of our enemies. We cannot let them succeed. Like any other organization, we need people to join us so our message can be heard. Join us at the Constitution Party, the only party which supports and defends our founding principles. The only party that has as an ironclad set of principles, which we call the Constitution of the United States of America, as our guide. Support truth, support liberty, and support the Constitution Party.